Welcome, everybody. This is your host, Ken D. Foster. We are broadcasting live today from the International Women's Day event here in Los Angeles. Just went down and walked the Hollywood Star Walk up the street here on Vine Street, you know, the famous Vine Street. So that's been amazing. And we're looking forward to having you join us for our live feed. We're going to be coming to you live. We got some A-listers, some superstars that are coming in today, and you won't want to miss this. So keep tuning into this, and we'll be coming in and out a little bit in the beginning, but eventually we're going to stream it ongoing. You won't want to miss a thing. So, well, I'd like to welcome all of you again to the Women's International Day of Fun and enjoyment here. We're down in LA. In fact, I just walked the Hollywood Stars famous Walk of Fame on Vine Street. And I'm so excited because I have a very special guest here today. Her name is Cassandra Williams, and Cassandra is the president of the California Music Hall of Fame. And Cassandra, so first of all, it's great to meet you.
Thank you. Same here, Ken. Thank you. This is a blessing in disguise.
It is for me. It's just, it was such a, you know, I walked up, I thought, well, you know, but why not ask Cassandra? And I didn't even know your name. I just thought, you just looked like you had that power, that energy, that vibe, that presence. You have a very strong presence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You put it right until my hood.
Okay, well he can watch this. He can watch the video, and we'll have him do that.
I love it. I love it.
Wow. So, do we have any surprises coming here to the event today?
Rumor has it that sportscaster Jim Hill is going to be here.
Jim Hill, okay.
Senator Diane, and I keep hearing about some others, but I'm going to cool it because I didn't sign an NDA or anything. But
okay.
There's going to be some A-listers here.
Yeah. I have been told that. I've been told that there's some surprises coming tonight.
Yes.
And
we got to mention fashion designer Sue Wong. Now, I did see her. She is in the building.
Sue Wong is here. Oh, okay. Well, that's exciting. I hope I can get her on camera today.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That'd be
Great. So tell me a little bit about the Music Hall of Fame, the California Music Hall of Fame, and a little bit about the organization and how you came to get involved in that.
Well, you know, I've always been involved in the entertainment business, and I used to sing. I was an opening act for Joan Rivers back in the 80s. It was one of those situations where I was so excited to get a gig that I didn't know that the place where we had the event, the owners, Bernice, looked like Joan Rivers. I said, I can do that. So I had a little 3-4-piece band. We went up, we auditioned, we got the gig. So that was in the 80s. And then one night, the keyboard player didn't show up, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And he had a bad accident. So we didn't know it at the time.
Right.
So I just started working the room, Ken. I'm trying to stall to get the show going.
Right.
And people thought I was hilarious. To this day, people think I'm funny. One of my clients who passed away a couple of years ago, the legendary Paul Mooney, was my client for 13 years. Yeah. And we get into it all the time. You know, he's got a great personality, but darling, you can't sing. Oh, okay, fine. So anyway, the night of this particular night at Carlos and Charlie's, that night I was fired by Miss Joan Rivers.
That's Carlos and Charlie's. That's on the Strip, right? That's over by. Was that by the Troubadour or somewhere?
Shut up!
Yeah.
It was.
Okay.
That's where I was. 8240 Sunset.
Wow, okay.
I was there for 6 years, and my involvement continued even after she fired me. I always kept a list of.
So you got fired by Joan Rivers.
Yes.
That's good. That's you're gonna check that one out.
My claim to fame. Right. I was fired by Joan Rivers. So I always kept my contacts together, and I had this vision that a lot of people in the entertainment don't have representation publicity, visibility, because some of them just don't have the money.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to put myself in a position where I can help those entertainers, and they're going to have to trust me like I'm going to trust them to continue your craft.
Right.
But get somebody who's going to keep their word and do what they say they're going to do.
I love
so
that.
I formed a company. It was called Wet PR of Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And WET stands for we write it, we edit, then we tell it.
I love it.
Which is also my email and also my website.
I love that.
So,
okay, so you know how to brand. Wet PR. Okay.
Beverly Hills, realsimple.com.
That's right. Now, I know you have an event coming up in Temecula, California. I think it's on April 13th, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
And this is you're going to be inducting some pretty amazing people into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
If you would allow me. Thank you
Please
so
do.
much, Ken. We're going to have the legendary Martha Reeves.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have the family of the Four Tops. Levi Stubbs' family is coming to accept the award for him. And then we have the association. We have the Fortunes. We have Ron Whitaker. We have Christian Love, the son of the Beach Boy. Yes.
Right.
And,
son of Mike Love.
So get the rest of them. You guys have to come. And the best part of this induction ceremony, the VIP tickets, which were normally really high.
Right.
If you want to go on that website, buy some discounted tickets, they're going to be donated to the family of the firefighters so that they can attend the induction ceremony.
I love that. That's
so
great. That's
it's
great.
going to be an opportunity.
So how do people find out about it? Where do they go for that?
Yes, it's American Entertainment Hall of Fame.com.
Okay, American Entertainment Hall of Fame.com. Everybody got that? We'll put that on the screen here in a little bit.
That'll be perfect. And also, you can always call our office at 323-381-0832, and we'll send the link right to you.
I love that.
And these are the VIP seats.
Okay.
This is not general admission.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, those that are watching, we'll get you in for $36.
Oh my goodness.
Instead of $90 for the VIP.
All right. Well, if you're watching,
what
do they have to do? Just go to the website
Go to the website
and sign up.
Sign
Okay.
up.
So April 13th,
Temecula,
Temecula, California. It's going to be a great event.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Cassandra, thank you for showing up here. Thank you
Our
for
privilege.
blessing me with your love.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Just Google it or AI it. What the world needs today is courage and wisdom. The courageous ones have moved us forward. These are the fearless, the ones with determination, the resilient ones. They have grit and rise to meet the challenges and opportunities. They encourage, empower, and enlighten us to all glow up, shift our thinking, and step into our greatness. Yes, these are the ones who have led the way. Now, listen to the courageous ones of today and step into your courage.
Well, listen, I'm back again. We're live here at the International Women's Day event here in Los Angeles. Today I'm with Carol O'Connor.
No,
I
that's
did
my
it. I know I was
bunker.
going to do that. Carol O'Connor. All right. So Carol wrote one of my favorite songs of all time, Little Cobra, and who sang it?
The Ripcord.
Chords. Okay, I knew we'd get that. Yeah. So Carol, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I have to tell you a funny Carol O'Connor story.
Carol
One day-
O'Connor. Okay.
Yeah, one day we were both at the same event, and he said, "I'm so sick and tired of being congratulated for your Oscars." And I said, "How do you think I feel? They think I'm Archie Bunker."
I love that.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
funny
What
story.
brings you to this event?
Well, last year I did get an inspirational award, and this year because I have a new book out called Elvis, Rocky, and Me,
Oh,
the Carol Connors story.
oh, I love that.
Thank you, and it's really doing well. It's number 4 on Amazon.
Okay.
I was in back of Taylor Swift. She was 1, 2, and 3. So I guess I'm a Swiftie now.
Very good, very good. Yeah, so that book's doing really well. Tell so they can get it on Amazon.
They can get it on Amazon.
Tell me, what inspired you to write that story?
Well, it all started with a song that I wrote. In fact, it's part of the documentary because now there's a documentary called Elvis, Rocky, and Me,
Hey,
and it'll be out this year. It all started when Chip Rosenblum, who used to own the LA Rams,
right.
when he heard the song I wrote. Elvis Presley was my first boyfriend, my first love. He really was. And the reason was because he fell in love with my voice on To Know Him Is to Love Him. I was the girl who sang
Right.
To Know Him. That's
To love.
and I do. And it was written for my voice by Phil Spector, the infamous Phil Spector, when I was 16 and a half.
Oh my goodness.
And he was in high school. I was in junior high school.
Yeah, yeah.
He was dating my girlfriend, Donna, and Elvis fell in love with my voice. And he said to the Memphis Mafia, he said, I love that girl's voice, I love to meet her. Translation, I love that girl's voice, I'd love to meet her. So one day I was in the market and this creepy little guy came up to me, was sort of creepy, and he said, aren't you the girl that sang To Know Him Is to Love Him? And I went, yes, as I was buying a carton of milk. He said, well, Elvis Presley would love to meet you. And I went, yeah, right, sure, of course. But being that my dad was a jockey, and being that I was I always lived a little on the edge like my father, I gave him my phone number.
Wow.
I didn't know if he was going to be a rapist
Wow.
or a serial killer, but I gave him my number, met Elvis, and we stayed friends. We went together for 9.5 months.
Okay.
I didn't have a baby. I was too stupid.
Okay.
And when he
Or too
passed,
smart. Maybe.
when he passed away, we had stayed friends till the end. And he was very happy for me for Rocky. And I told the story to Chip Rosenblum and Adalia Heyman, who's the other producer. And because of the song that I'm going to do here tonight,
Oh.
which was the song I wrote the night that Elvis died.
Oh my goodness.
I was at the Polo
What's the
Lounge.
name of the song?
It's called You Loved My Night Away. And it was sort of a tribute to my love affair and the way he felt about me and I felt about him. And
That's very
I found out in the Polo Lounge when the little Philip Morris guy came running in and he was like crying. And he said, Elvis Presley just died. Elvis Presley just died. And the whole room gave a collective sigh of sadness. Total sadness.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
And I started to cry and I went home and at 4:00 in the afternoon, I sat at my piano. I wrote this song till 4 in the morning. I never took a bathroom break, never petted my kitty cats. I love kitty cats. Never took a glass of water. And I, to this day, believe that somewhere, somehow, Elvis, I don't like to use the word channel because I'm not Shirley MacLaine,
Right.
but I do believe that he guided me into that song. And it
Well,
all started with that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations with loved ones that have passed.
So if I haven't had a lot.
Here. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say a lot.
But I've had David Jansen.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with David. My father came to me after he passed away and told me to take care of my mother, which I did.
Yeah. My mother, when she passed, I was on my sister's ranch out in Lancaster. And that morning, I got on the road. I was so sad. I got on the road and I drove out the country road and I looked up and there's 7 eagles sitting
Oh
on
my
a
gosh.
telephone on trees out there. I'm like, okay, Mom, I get it. You're here. You're with me. That doesn't happen.
I know.
You know, those little things like that.
I understand when my mother passed away, she lived till 99. She didn't want to be a triple Did you, baby? And she lived till 99, and I saw her dancing on remember a couple years ago, about 4 years ago, there was the biggest moon, the harvest moon that we had. I saw my mother dancing on that moon.
So special.
You know.
Well, you know, I just interviewed Pat Boone.
I love him. I love him. I love him.
Pat was, the reason I'm saying that is Pat was comparing himself to Elvis. And he told me, Pat says this, he says, Ken, did you know that I had 41 hits on the hit chart? And I said, no, I didn't know. They said, yeah, but Elvis only had 40.
Well, you know, Pat calls me Honeybee.
Oh,
that's his nickname to me.
Yeah.
He says I'm like a little honeybee. He came to my book signing for the book at Book Soup,
nice.
And he was so sweet. He said, because he says you like flitter around and you bring happiness to people.
You do. I feel
no,
that.
I
I feel that energy. Yeah. You know what I love is that you've got a new song. You know, Pat also has a new song
I
called
know.
What's Out There. He's going to launch it March 21st, I think it is.
Is it? I didn't know the date.
Yeah, March 21st. Yeah, so it's amazing. You're inspiring. You know,
Oh,
you're very inspiring.
Well, I'm so glad that I can speak with you and that you're listening to my Elvis Presley stories.
Well, I can hardly wait to hear you sing tonight, and hopefully
Thank
we're going
you.
to be able to live stream that. Well, we'll see. We'll see if all the tech works tonight. Hopefully it'll.
I think it'll work. I think we've become pretty tech savvy in this world. It was supposed to make our lives easier. I think it's made life more complicated.
100%. I spent here all afternoon setting up techie stuff. So I'm
yet
with you today.
We
But
couldn't do
we
any
couldn't do this. And, you know, right now this is going out around the world in 185 countries right now. So it's like, what? How do we do that?
Well, I hope they all decide to go to Amazon.
Oh yeah. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, name of the book one more time.
And if you click in on Amazon, Elvis, Rocky, and me, it comes up like that. And I hope you take the wild ride, and I hope there's some moments that touch you, and we realize that we can all climb every mountain and swim in every sea.
Carol Connor, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
me.
much.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the deluxe bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
We have enough information, just Google it or AI it. What the world needs today is courage and wisdom. The courageous ones have moved us forward. These are the fearless, the ones with determination, the resilient ones. They have grit and rise to meet the challenges and opportunities. They encourage, empower, and enlighten us to all glow up, shift our thinking, and step into our greatness. Yes, these are the ones who have led the way. Now, listen to the courageous ones of today and step into your courage.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is your host here at the International Women's Day event here in Los Angeles, and another guest that we're so blessed to have today at the event. Her name is Diane Watson, and I'm sorry, Diane, I want to read your background since I didn't memorize it. Is that okay? Okay, so Diane Watson, 1975, made history as the first African American woman elected to the Los Angeles Unified School District Board of Education. As we fast forward, she was also in the California State Senate in 1978, serving till 1998. And President Bill Clinton appointed Ms. Watson as the United States ambassador to the Federated States of Micronesia, a position that she held until 2000. And she was also elected in a special election in 2001. She won California's 32nd congressional district in the U.S. House of Representatives. She served California's 33rd district from 2003 to 2011, and so much more. You know, your middle name is Edith, right? And my mother's middle name was Edith. And I read that, I went, oh, it's another Edith, another amazing Edith on the planet. That's great. Yeah, you've had such an amazing career. Yeah. What brings you to the International Women's Day event here in Los Angeles?
Well, I used to teach about 5 blocks from here.
Oh my goodness.
And we would come here all the time for activities. But the women are the ones that have really pulled this and pushed us forward. And I'm glad that they're doing this and recognizing those that usually teach.
Yes, yes.
And gone into, as you know, public service. And it's good to be here, be stimulated, because it's Women's Day, and the women being seen as doing.
Yes.
Yes. We always did. We're the ones that bring the children into life.
Yes.
We're the ones that put them home together usually.
Yes. That's right.
You guys, you might be the fathers, but you're not. Keep it.
Well, you know, I had a really strong mother, and she was a trailblazer at her own right. She was one of the first women working on the Pacific Stock Exchange here in Los Angeles, and then she was one, you know, in our neighborhood. They talked a lot about her because she was one the first woman that actually went to work and you know, did what she needed to do to support her family. And that wasn't well liked back then, right? You know, but we've come a long way, baby.
Thank goodness we're 2025.
We're at 20 and moving forward, absolutely.
And I appreciate the opportunities that I received, and I was able to reflect as well. And I was in Washington. I taught school in Germany. School in France. I taught school way down in Okinawa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel I really was gifted with things that came to me.
Yeah.
And as a woman, now they're recognizing the women and recognizing here.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask for this, but they're recognizing.
You know, it's so interesting. You kind of look back at your life, and do you think it just kind of unfolded naturally, or did you really push hard, or how did you accomplish so much?
I pushed far.
Yeah.
And I never married, never had a child.
Yeah.
But I pushed forward because education was so important. And I explored here, went to school here, went to City College, State College, UCLA, and then went to Yale, Harvard, and so I just kept moving in. Got all those plays, and I remember taking my degree from UCLA. This would take anywhere.
You know, looking back, I know there's women watching this right now, and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, she's done so much. How could I ever do that? You know, and was there a place in your world where you just found the courage somehow to keep moving forward? Because you know, a life isn't built in, you know, one day, right? Yeah.
My father was the first Black police officer in Los Angeles. And my father separated. My mother was mom and me. You just do what you have to do. But keep doing it. Keep doing it. And my great aunt was the first educator in Los Angeles University. Was a model for me. Just do. She would tell me, if you're out of UCLA, you get in long tall, down the center, fold into the front row. That's where you sit.
You know, I do that naturally, but maybe you know, I have a wife that does not like that front row, but I do. You know, that I do that. You know, you and I have something in common. My dad worked for the Los Angeles Police Department.
All right.
He had the second most seniority on that force. He had 48 years when he retired, and he served concurrently in the Central Intelligence, or in the what was this? I can't think now, but anyway, in the service, right? In the Army. But 48 years, and your dad was the first Black cop in LA. I love that. Yeah.
And he set things in place, and you have to do the right thing.
Yep.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And even today, I do the right thing. And he would say, when we sit down to eat everything, or your students starving China.
Yeah. That's right. Well, my dad and yours came from the same mold, because I remember those exact words. That's amazing. Well, one last question or so. What, you know, you've made such a difference, and you've served in so many great ways in the past. What's the future hold for you, Diane?
I'm retired.
I'm retired.
Taught all over the world, and now I'm at my home.
Yeah.
And I live in by myself, but on the other side. So it's now the time for me to appreciate the life is given. Yeah.
You know, there's so many people in the world today that don't have fulfilled lives. They're out running around, going from one cell phone to the next, to one TikTok to the next, to one party to the next, and everything. You know, and I think you have the key to it. It seems like, you know, this is the key that I get. It's like when we're of service, when we can be of service, life gets better. We get more fulfilled. We feel that joy in our hearts when we're of service. And your whole life is service.
And I have people that come around me and listen to me. So I'm not alone. I live
alone. Yeah. How could you ever be alone? Too many people love you. That's so good. Diane, thank you so much for being here today. And much success. It's my honor to be sitting here with you. Thank you. Great soul you are.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. Guess what? They want your money and they can take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter right over here that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you right now. So what do? You fight back by letting our team of experts work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And hey, we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws, and we'll fight really hard to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes of your time right now can save you thousands of dollars. And the best part, it's a free call. So please call right now.
We have enough information, just Google it or AI it. What the world needs today is courage and wisdom. The courageous ones have moved us forward. These are the fearless, the ones with determination, the resilient ones. They have grit and rise to meet the challenges and opportunities. They encourage, empower, and enlighten us to all glow up, shift our thinking, and step into our greatness. Yes, these are the ones who have led the way. Now, listen to the courageous ones of today and step into your courage.
Well, I'd like to welcome everybody back. This is your host today, Ken D. Foster, at the International Women's Day event here in Los Angeles. You know, I've been interviewing some of the most amazing people today. And now I am so blessed to have Natasha Graziano with me. And she has, I think, one of the most beautiful dresses at the event today. She's just gorgeous. Look at that. Whoa.
Thank you so much.
So those of you that don't know Natasha, she's a best-selling author, motivational speaker. She's a person who changes people's lives. And she has a new book out right now. It's called Be It Until You Become It, The Law of Attraction Explained Through the Neuroscience and Ancient Wisdom. We need neuroscience to explain the law of attraction, that's for sure.
For sure.
Natasha, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got into the motivational speaking.
Well, I spent my last 5 years building who I am. It was not how it started then. So a few years back, when after my son was born, so let's say más o menos 8-7 years ago, to a rock bottom. And suddenly I found myself a single mother. I was in hundreds of thousands of debt, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And I was in a rut. And I thought, how do I change my life from here? But it was in that moment that I realized I can change my life, and I have the power to change my life. If I apply the knowledge that I've learned, it becomes power. And I'd read a lot, but I decided I must do something to transform. This is an awful place, and I don't want to be here anymore. So I went back to the drawing board and I redesigned who I was. And I decided if I could redesign my character, I could change my life. And that is exactly what I did.
Love that. You know, in your brand, it talks about meditation. Are you a meditator? You a long-term meditator?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you?
I am, about 3 decades.
Wow. Yeah, same. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I find that just about every one of my creative ideas, in fact, everyone, comes from not the logical mind, but the superconscious mind.
Wow. It is the superconscious.
It's the superconscious.
It is. It doesn't come from necessarily every day. It comes from that spark of inspiration. Where do we get that? We get that when we are meditating, when we quiet the mind, when we're able to see beyond the normal realm that most people see.
100%. Which is why it gives me so much excitement about what's coming with AI, because I know AI is going to be brilliant for so many of us, but it'll never replace the superconscious mind, because superconscious mind is not in the 3D reality.
Yes,
it's higher.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah. AI is fantastic for so many things, but when it comes to us tapping into our higher power, our thoughts, and telepathy or sending messages and receiving things, all of that stuff is inverted commas the woo-woo, but actually it does exist.
All does exist. You've studied neuroscience.
Absolutely.
And I've studied quantum physics, quantum mechanics, natural science, and all that.
Right.
And the macro is in the micro, and the micro is in the macro.
Yes, absolutely. It's interesting because the quantum physics, the quantum field, that is the realm that we really want to play for. For example, let me break it down for somebody who's new to this. Your thoughts become your feelings become your actions, and your actions become your habits. And what are you? You are a bag of walking habits by the age of about 30. So who you are every single day is who you will become. We don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. So who are you being today?
100%. My latest book is called The Courage to Change Everything: Daily Strategies and Essential Wisdom to Awaken Your Inner Genius. I wrote that book because that people, all of us are on a path of growing and learning and evolving, right?
Yes.
So what stops us, right? What stops is what you just said. It's having the wrong habits.
Absolutely.
But if you can develop the right habits and every single day have a strategy, have a some wisdom, some guidance. You know, we don't need any more information, right? We have Google it, right?
Absolutely.
What we need now is wisdom.
And to apply it.
And to apply it. So tell me tonight, you're going to be rocking this place tonight.
Oh,
You're going to give
yeah.
a motivational speak. Can you give us a little hint about what you're going to
Sure. Tonight we're going to be talking about stepping into your power and your confidence, believing that you can achieve anything you desire, doesn't matter what stage you are in your life. Today is the day to rewrite your story, change the narrative. All those women that were told they could never do anything, all those people that were told they could never do anything, tonight is the moment when you decide to make a decision towards your new future. Life is you choose your character, you write your script. Who do you want to be?
Right now, I'm the #1 TV host at the Women's Day event. And I'm interviewing A-listers, I'm interviewing up-and-coming A-listers, and I'm having a blast.
Love that.
And you know, you're, I don't know if it's coming through the camera right now, but if you're sitting next to, I'm sitting next to Natasha, and I feel this, you know, energy, this vibration. Nicholas Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, understand energy, frequency, and vibration. This is it right here. This is the energy, the frequency, the vibration he's talking about.
Absolutely. It's all energy and vibration. Everything exists on that. And we coexist. And when we decide, well, we are so beyond what we can see, and we can, it's like one consciousness, right? You just have to wake up to the fact that you can change your life at any stage. I coach people at 65, 70, and then just beginning. So what? That's amazing. You've just woken up to the next chapter of your life. Welcome.
I love it. I love you. You're awesome. I can't wait to hear you speak tonight. It's going to be powerful.
Great. Look forward to it.
All right. One last question. All right. Have you ever been unstoppable?
I am unstoppable. That's literally what I'm talking about tonight. I am unstoppable. I am, and I know it, and I believe it in my core. And if you practice it enough, it becomes who you are. It becomes who you are.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. It's so beautiful.
Thank
Oh,
you.
look at those. Wait, you got to show those nails to the girls out there. Oh, my goodness. They're going to be jealous.
It's so beautiful.
So beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
We have enough information. Just Google it or AI it. What the world needs today is courage and wisdom. The courageous ones have moved us forward. These are the fearless, the ones with determination, the resilient ones. They have grit and rise to meet the challenges and opportunities. They encourage, empower, and enlighten us to all glow up, shift our thinking, and step into our greatness. Yes, these are the ones who have led the way. Now, listen to the courageous ones of today and step into your courage.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Ken D. Foster. We're broadcasting live today to the Women's International event up in Los Angeles. And I have another special guest for you, Natasha. Oops, I've got my names all mixed up here. Hold on. Rohini Bedi. Now, if you don't know Rohini Bedi, you will know Rohini Bedi because she's a fashion designer extraordinaire, and I want to find out her story. I bet you want to hear it too. Rohini, it's so good to have you.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Yeah. You know, we were just talking, and one thing I didn't tell you, I was my wife and I, Judy, were able to be blessed. We went to India last year. We spent 25 days with my team in India. We started out in Delhi, went down to Tamil, went to a Muslim wedding down there. Did things like the Taj Mahal and stuff.
So I'm from Delhi. I'm from the north.
Oh, you're from the north, from Delhi. Okay, yeah, that's where we spent a lot of time in Delhi with my teammates. It's so beautiful. We loved it. Loved it. All I did was eat it. That's me. Anyway, it's so good to have you. Tell me about your journey a little bit about, where you started and where you are today with fashion design.
It's been a long haul. I think I've been doing this for such a long time, over 35 to 40 years. So I feel like sometimes I'm one of those dinosaur designers, but I don't think I can ever stop. It's a passion. It really is. I love what I do. And I think I started probably when I was a child, watching my mother go to parties and dress up really beautifully. And that's what inspired me to, sketch and dress up my dolls. And of course, I got into design and got into fashion shows in college and did my first trunk show. In fact, my parents were out of the country. They were in Germany visiting my brother. And they came back and I had spent all the money in the bank, which they had left for me in case anything. Right. And I created a whole collection, which I wanted to show. But they were very, very happy for me. They wanted me to pursue my dreams and passions. So I was blessed with, very understanding parents who said, okay, if you don't want to go into higher education, you can do whatever you want.
I just love that. I did that with one of my daughters who came to me and asked me, Dad, I don't want to really keep going on to college. That's not what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about styling and styling hair. I said, okay, you got to follow your heart. You got to do what's right. And she did, and she's very successful. So,
in fact, just on that note, I think because it's Women's International Day, and we're talking about getting inspirational awards, I think it's for a woman it's very important to not be told what to do, but to tell what she wants to do.
100%. I think with hopefully in our educational system that'll change up more and more. My wife Judy is a Montessori school teacher, and where they gave children a lot of different choices, really inspired their passions instead of a one-size-fits-all. Isn't that how creativity comes?
Absolutely. That's my son who's a photographer, and he's following his passion.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He does fashion.
Yeah, I didn't know that was your son. Yeah, that is really good. Creativity, where does it come from? Because you've been in this business a long time. It's changed a lot of different directions, and you could have gone a million different directions. But where does your creativity come from?
Creativity has to come from within. I don't think it's something which can be taught. If you go to design school or you go for anything, not just sketching or just I never went to a proper design school in India. We didn't have it. We didn't have knit until when I already started my collection in almost 25 stores. I was selling my collection, and that's when knit started. That's the National Institute of Fashion Technology. So my dad at that time did say, "Why don't you draw?" And I said, "Why should I? Maybe I should." But it's already started. So if it wasn't within me, it's not something which could have been taught to me. I taught myself. So I think a lot of people, it just comes, from within, what you see, what you like, what you want to do with all your time. That's what creativity.
Well, there's a lot of women out here watching the show right now, and they're being, I know they're inspired by just listening to what you have to say. But some of them are, they're a little fearful. There's a lot going on. How do they, they're very creative, but how do they tap into that courage to be able to do what you've done. Come on.
You know, if somebody wants to do something, nobody is going to do it for them. You have to do it yourself. You have to take the first step. You have to believe in yourself. Nobody else will believe as much as you can believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you can do it.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I'm a spiritual kind of guy. I believe in meditation. I meditate. I get quiet. It seems like all my creativity gets when I'm still, when I'm quiet. Does that happen to you when you get still?
It does. In fact, a lot of times when I'm half asleep, I get a lot of ideas which I'm like, earlier I used to sit and sketch them out, just kept in notepad next to my bed. But now I hope in the morning I will remember them. That's my time, it's quiet time.
Yeah. I think it was Thomas Edison, the guy, the inventor of the light bulb. I think he used to take naps and put a ball in his hand. When the ball would fall out, he'd wake up, then all his ideas would start flowing. That's amazing. So what would you say your message is to women that are watching this today that might be entrepreneurs that really want to go in again, go do something different? Today.
Like I said, if you believe in yourself, take the first step. If you don't take it, how would you know whether you're good at it or not? I mean, it is a challenge, but life is all about challenges, and you need to do it. You can't just be in a job your whole life thinking that maybe I should have done that business, which I really want to do. It is difficult. It's a little scary, especially if you're young. It is scary to take that step and say, should I give up everything and give up my paycheck and give up my... But if you're really, really passionate about it and you really want to do it, you will. You will.
I think they will. I think you will. And I think there's that piece. Did you say you had 25 stores when you first started out? Or?
When I, not first, but when I was in India,
in India.
When the college actually opened, I'd already started supplying my label.
Okay. Question. What are you passionate about today? What are you designing?
A lot of things, not just fashion. I'm doing a lot of things. Actually doing a lot of service. I am with the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. That's Little India. Artesia Chamber of Commerce. I've been the president for 2 years, and I'm trying to make a change for businesses. Done a lot of different things. To increase visibility.
Yes.
In Little India. I've also launched a wedding website called Made in Heaven LA.
Made in Heaven LA. Okay. I like that.
Because I'm all about relationships. It's all connected. You're about design, it's feminist, it's beautiful, it's encouraging, it's love. It's all a mixture of the same thing. So lots of things on my list right now.
Okay. So if people want to find you, they should go to Made in Heaven LA or?
Yes, but I think more, that's very new. I just launched it in Feb. So it's really.
Oh, that's really.
But it's Fashion by Rohini. That's the name of my label. That's the name of my store on Instagram and on my website. Just Fashion by Rohini.
Okay, Fashion by Rohini, ROHINI.
That's right.
Is that right? Okay.
It's .net, fashionbyrohini.net.
Okay. Rohini, thank you so much for being here. You have such a sweet spirit. You're very sweet. I see you.
I'm a very spiritual person also.
You're very what?
Very spiritual person.
Yes, I feel that. Very calm, peaceful, joyful.
Thank you.
So glad that you stopped by.
Thank you so much.
Hi folks, Joe Namath here. Did you know that I wear hearing aids? I love my hearing aids and I am here to help you get a deal on the same brand I wear.
Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get MD Hearing's revolutionary Neo hearing aids for just $297 a pair. The Neo is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. with rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. And you can get 2 Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime US-based support for only $297. The Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-ear canal design.
Call my friends at MD Hearing and get the over-the-counter hearing aids that I use for you.
Call now and get not 1 but 2 Neo hearing aids for just $297.
800-789-7885. Again, that's 800-789-7885.
We have enough information, just Google it or AI it. What the world needs today is courage and wisdom. The courageous ones have moved us forward. These are the fearless, the ones with determination, the resilient ones. They have grit and rise to meet the challenges and opportunities. They encourage, empower, and enlighten us to all glow up, shift our thinking, and step into our greatness. Yes, these are the ones who have led the way. Now, listen to the courageous ones of today and step into your courage.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Ken D. Foster. We are still broadcasting live tonight for the International Women's Day event here in Los Angeles. I've had so much fun here. I know a lot of you are just watching this. You can't wait till the next interview that I have. And well, I have it here. And we have Anu Duckworth with us. And Anu has been in the pageant lately, and she's going to tell us a little bit about that. She won Miss India USA, if you can see it, Miss India USA. And I think it's just so appropriate. You know, this is a time where women are really speaking their voices. They're stepping in. And, you know, there's no more this, in my world, there's no more this inequality. Somebody's better than another. I'm more smart or more better. You know, it's not that anymore, quite frankly. You know, in fact, here's what I like to tell people. I say, listen, you know, I'm really, you know, I'm not a white guy. And I'm not a brown person, and I'm not black, and I'm not yellow, and I'm not red, and I'm not blue. I'm a soul. I'm a soul, and so are you. And we're all connected together. We're souls growing and learning and evolving and stepping into being the best we can be. All right, that's my little rant for the day. So tell me about yourself. Tell me, you know, what inspired you to get into the pageant?
Well, I would say, let's back up a little bit. As a child, I was really insecure. I was very timid and all that stuff. And I had the best childhood anybody can have. I had such loving parents. I have such loving parents, loving family. And still, I was very shy, timid, and all this stuff. Now, being like pretty much master of all trades, it was a growth. I was growing into it. Like, it took me a while. Some girls right from middle school, they shine, they do so many good things and all that stuff. I was one of them. You know, I took me a while to shine and all that stuff. Anyways, for me, education was a big deal. I am a dentist by profession. Oh, wow. Yes, and I went to Loma Linda School of Dentistry here in Southern California. And so I have done that. I have been an associate professor at Loma Linda for the School of Dentistry. I have done that. Before that, I was an international flight attendant. So I have done that, seen the whole world. So I grew into all this. You know, and finishing dentistry, I started my own office from scratch, but it was never enough for me. I always wanted to grow, wanted to learn everything. Then came a time of Google. My curious mind just wanted to learn everything, you know. But anyways, just kept on doing things. And
so let me ask you this. You know, there's a lot of women watching this right now.
Right.
There's young folks out there, and they're in a place where they're wondering, how do I do that? How do I get there? they might have a creative idea. They might think, well, but sometimes they think, I can't do that.
Yeah.
How did you overcome? Well, I don't know if I can do that because you're kind of
Yeah.
shy.
Yeah.
Or
But I had one rule in my life, which was try 10 things, one will work out. I always lived by that rule, and that's how it happened. And as the dentist, I'm like, what next? What next? So there was always the next.
Yeah.
Of course, in my personal life, married, children, all that kept on happening on the side. But still for personal growth, it was very important. And just last year, I found out about Virgelia production, and I was like, and she is this company, or I would say this pageant, has been there for 27 years. So it's pretty well known. And I was like, I went to Virgelia, I'm like, I would like to join, and she was like, sure. She's very picky about what she chooses and all that stuff. Anyways, then came the pageant, and we had a wonderful event in Redondo Beach last November. And so I'm the reigning queen with Miss Cynthia USA.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Well, congratulations on all that
Thank you.
success. I'm wondering what's next for you because you've got so many things
Good
going.
question. With this year, we are going with all the events and all that stuff. With Virgelia production, I have my friends here. This event up until November, we have a very busy schedule. I don't know what's after that. I really don't know what's after that, but again, I'm going to be doing something. My desire now is to do some social work. My heart goes out to children, dogs, and older people. But somehow the dogs and children still get taken care of, but the old people, they are just discarded. And in some point, I would want to, be the US, be it in India or Southern America. I want to do something. And I've done things in the past. I have done things for Smile Train, which is like cleft lip, cleft palate. I have done things for them too. But I want to grow into this field of giving. I think I have taken. Now it's time for me to give.
Life is in my world chiefly service.
Yes.
It's chiefly service. And when we're in that space, when we can step into it for our families, for our communities, for our countries,
Yes.
what happens is you change, you grow,
Yes.
you become you change, but change is filled with a lot more joy and happiness and love in our lives.
Yes.
Chiefly service. So
And you get that satisfaction. It's like, I put it this way, this is really funny, but I want to buy my ticket to heaven.
you know what? That's the name of a book. There's your book title right there. Ticket to Heaven. That's your book title.
So that's what I want to do now.
Yeah, we'll write the book, and then we'll have to have you back on one of my other shows.
Yes,
and we'll,
absolutely.
we'll talk.
Yes, nobody take my idea.
Yeah, don't take that idea. That's propriety.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's great. Okay, well, thank you so much for stopping
Thank
by.
you.
Really
Yes.
good to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
I love what you're doing.
Thank
You're
you.
so inspiring to the
Thanks. Thank
and
you.
the men too. So, yeah. I said this in the last interview we had. There's this energy here. There's this frequency, vibration, and certain guests just have it emanated. And of course,
Oh,
you have
it's
it
sweet.
today.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
Yeah.
you too.
Are you ready? Just Google it or AI it. What the world needs today is courage and wisdom. The courageous ones have moved us forward. These are the fearless, the ones with determination, the resilient ones. They have grit and rise to meet the challenges and opportunities. They encourage, empower, and enlighten us to all glow up, shift our thinking, and step into our greatness. Yes, these are the ones who have led the way. Now, listen to the courageous ones of today and step into your courage.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Ken D. Foster, and we're at the Women's International event here in Los Angeles. And as you know, we've had some really amazing guests stop by, some A-listers. I've got Jeff Rector here right now.
Top of the B list.
Well, he says top of the B list, but I think he's pushing A-list. This guy's got, let's see, 100. He's appeared in over 150 television shows, featured films, showcasing his versatility around a whole bunch of genres. He's got a new book out too. We're going to talk about that in a second. Jeff, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So tell me, how in the heck did you get yourself so accomplished over these several
I bought my way into Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Rich
That's
parents.
Good. Okay.
And no, I started at the bottom like everybody else. My father was an art director. He moved out to moved the family out to California. I got a job as a tour guide at Universal Studios. So I always considered Universal to be my home studio. And of course, we all thought, well, Universal, we're going to, get discovered, get a contract. And then after 2 weeks, we realized it was just a minimum wage job at an amusement park.
Well, I think a lot of people.
But it's a great place to be.
To have that job, that's for sure.
It was 30 out of 3,000 that I chose.
I love that. Hey, what's your most memorable film you did?
I worked with Jean-Claude Van Damme on Double Impact. We were in Hong Kong for 3 months on that. That was a fantastic ride. I mean, how would you get to Hong Kong anyway? But for 3 months, it was just fantastic. Had lunch with Janet Jackson one day, who was on the set. She introduced me or invited me to her concert because she was performing in Hong Kong at the time. So it just was a great time. I worked with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere on Pretty Woman. I was Richard's stand-in on that. I had 2 scenes of Julia Roberts. She wound up on the cutting room floor, unfortunately, but still get the residuals. Thank you, Gary Marshall. And that was they were fantastic to work with. I worked with Charlie Sheen on Wall Street, Michael Douglas, Daryl Hannah. That's
one of my favorite films. I love that. Love that movie.
I was Charlie stand-in on that, and I worked 3 months on that. Then I was Tom Cruise's stand-in on Cocktail, and that was for 6 days. And then the movie went to Jamaica, so we're all excited about going to Jamaica for another 2 months. They go, "Oh no, we're not going to need you." What? There goes my paid vacation to Jamaica. But then I moved back to LA, and that's when my TV and film career really started to take off.
That's awesome. So you tell me before we started the interview that you got some documentaries brewing in the works here.
Well, I did one on myself called "Who is Jeff Rector?" And it starts off about me and my career and everything I've done. And it looks like it's a documentary about me. And then it switches gears, and it's 4 other guys named Jeff Rector that I found on the internet. I didn't even know these guys. One was a black rodeo cowboy. One was a church youth group minister. One was a lawyer in San Diego. One was a general in the Army. So it's all about Jeff Rector, but they're all different ones. And I won a lot of awards at some festivals. And I'm still shooting until I get to 90 minutes and release it as a full feature film. But there's a lot of Jeff Rectors out there.
I love that. Well, I had to rebrand myself a few years ago. I was branded as Ken Foster, and I Googled Ken Foster as a guy that was trying to get out. He'd killed somebody in Texas trying to get out of jail. And then
that's not the guy you want to be.
That wasn't me. I didn't want to be that. And then there was another guy.
Emulate that guy.
Another guy writing a lot of dog books, and I was like, I don't think I want to brand myself like that. So we put the D in it. It's Ken D. Foster. Maybe wants to Google me.
The most exciting thing I'm excited about is my book.
Oh yeah, let's talk
my new
about
autobiography. It's called "I Was a Playboy Rabbit and Other Stories," a B-movie memoir. That was the same time I was working with Charlie Sheen and Tom Cruise in New York. I was living in New York at the time. I was hired as a rabbit, male version of the iconic Playboy Bunny, at a new club in Manhattan called the Playboy Empire Club. Christy Hefner had taken over Playboy Enterprises,
But when I read that book, what am I going to walk away with?
There's 380 pages, 31 chapters, 175 photos. So you get to see photos from those shoots and with celebrities that I'd worked with at the time. So it's sort of a visual story as well. But, you know, I talk about if I can make it, you can make it. You know, it's uplifting. There's a lot of inspiration in the book. How, you know, where I came from, where I got to, and that's only was from 85 to 95. There's 3 other books after that in 10-year increments because there's just too many stories to put in one book. But it's about my travel and voyage through life and through Hollywood. And you know, there's a couple of hits and misses in there. I'm honest, but I didn't want to censor myself, so it's a little racy at some places. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that makes it fun. I have a good sense of humor, so it's very funny, and I think everybody can take away something and say that was a fun ride.
So is the book out now?
It is out now, yes.
Can you get it on Amazon or whatever?
Well, right now, I had another book and I got ripped off by Amazon's.
Oh, okay, so no Amazon here. Okay.
But you can go to my website, www.jeffrector.com/shop. You get my books. Some of my movies are on there. Okay. Everything, Jeff Rector. And
well, we got a large listing audience, so let me spell that out for you. It's jeffrector.com/shop, SHOP. Is that right?
That's right, and I'm so thrilled to be on your show. And hello, everybody.
I'm really okay. I listen, I should have asked you this at the very beginning, but you know, there's a lot of people listening to this, and they, you know, this show is all about inspiring people.
Sure.
So, who inspired you? To get to where you are.
Well,
you know? I mean, there's probably a few people.
My parents. My parents are my heroes. I mean, they believed in us, 5 kids, and you know, it was like, pursue whatever you want to pursue, follow your heart. They were very supportive, and a lot of parents aren't, especially in the entertainment industry. You know, you don't want to be an actor, a musician, a painter. You know, a lot of parents have killed a lot of dreams, but mine didn't. They were very supportive, but you know, a lot of acting coaches along the way. I was a state national speech champion in college. So my professors and teachers in school were very supportive and spurred me on and gave me the confidence to keep going. And there's just too many to mention. I hope I don't get an Oscar because there'll be too many people to mention. I won't get it in 40 seconds.
Well, I think you have one quality that a lot of people don't have, and that is that persistence piece. Where does that come from?
Well, it's funny you say that because my favorite billboard has a picture of Abraham Lincoln on it. And at the top, it says failed, failed, failed. And at the bottom, it says persistence. Imagine running for president and the Senate and government all those years and getting turned down every time and winding up being one of our best presidents in the United States. It's a motivation. It's an inner fire, I guess is the best way to describe it. You can't ever stop. You can't ever let anybody tell you no. And my favorite quote is, you can do and be anything you want in this world. Don't let anyone tell you you can't.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really
Thank you
appreciate
very much.
it, Jeff, and much success in all you do.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
God bless you.
Yeah, bless you too, Jeff. All right, we'll be back.
He's the man.
In a few minutes. And you know what? I get paid to do this. This is amazing. So blessed.
You heard it here first, folks.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
We have enough information. Just Google it or AI it. What the world needs today is courage and wisdom. The courageous ones have moved us forward. These are the fearless, the ones with determination, the resilient ones. They have grit and rise to meet the challenges and opportunities. They encourage, empower, and enlighten us to all glow up, shift our thinking, and step into our greatness. Yes, these are the ones who have led the way. Now, listen to the courageous ones of today and step into your courage.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Again, this is your host, Ken D. Foster. We are broadcasting live from the Women's Empowerment event here, and I have the producer of the empowerment event with me today. We were just talking about, we started out, 5 years ago on this?
We started in 2021.
Yeah.
In San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was right after COVID. They just opened up.
Yeah.
And I was planning this all alone, not even knowing if we'd be able to produce the event or put it on. And it was from the faith of myself and my co-partner at the time, Lisa Sanfilippo, from the Sanfilippo Foundation, who really just put our faith in God to have that go through. And then, how it come through, and then all of a sudden, you and I met, and it was one of the most magical times for women. I had women coming up crying because they never had such an experience, for someone to celebrate them in the way that we did that first year.
Well, it's grown so much, and today I was watching the women walk in, and the models that are here, and the photographers, and going up the carpet, and just thinking about where we started from and where we are today. With we have A-listers here in Hollywood. We have senator, a House of Representative here. We've got a lot of people that are government. But the bottom line of this whole thing, it's about everybody I've interviewed. It's about women inspiring, empowering other women to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
It's very good experience.
It's been amazing.
I get teary eyed thinking about it. We started this just to inspire the future leaders of tomorrow. That was our whole goal. Is to, and we had, we haven't, the road wasn't always as smooth because you didn't want it to be, especially planning this event for whatever reason. What could have gone wrong didn't go wrong.
Well, I don't know anybody more persistent than you, Sharon, because I have seen you overcome so many hurdles in these events and so many hurdles in your own personal life.
Yeah.
And be able to stand here as the producer of this beautiful event, so many are just being inspired, and they're growing, they're learning, they're sparkling. You'll get to watch back the live shows that we've done today. Every person that's showing up is just in gratitude.
Yes, I mean the Carol Connors of the world, the Diane Warrens, the Diane Watsons, the Sue Longs. These are ladies who were leaders in their time, and now they're here tonight to be honored for the work that they have done to inspire future generations. It's very instrumental. It's very emotional. And, I get to do it alongside my husband, Greg, who's been a supporter of me doing this, and with Lisa Sanfilippo, and they're at my side, as well as you and your Voices of Courage, show. And, we feel like we're making some inroads for women around the world.
Well, I believe we are, and as I've mentioned a couple times, this show is being broadcast in 29 TV networks, 190 plus podcast networks, AM, FM from Manhattan to Long Beach, and so it's going to be seen by a lot of people. And Sharon, is there a website, or is there a place that people could come and contribute to the event, contribute to you?
Yeah, it's womensempowermentsummit.org. But tonight is really, it's not about, donating to us, but it's really about donating to our individuals who are the benefactors of tonight's show. And that is, as many people around the world, that California and the Los Angeles area suffered the worst fire in the history of the state. And that's where two communities burnt completely to the ground. One very prominent community was the Palisades, burnt completely to the ground, and the other was a very historic community, the Pasadena area and Altadena areas, burnt completely to the ground. So I was determined that this year we would find individuals to sponsor those. And I wasn't sure who would come into my path to do that. But lo and behold, I met a young man. His name is Rowan. And Rowan is lived in the Palisades with his family. And his home burnt down. And, when his home burnt, he decided that he was a book avid reader. He had a book collection, and that was the one thing he missed about his whole house, was his book collection.
Right.
So this young man.
Come on in here. Come on in and say hi real quick.
Hi everyone. How are you guys?
There you are. All right. Yeah, we're good.
Dewey Beck is like my adopted son. And he's an amazing actor and Hall of Famer. And he does so many things. I can't even count them all. But he'll come back later.
Okay. Dewey, come on back.
I'd love to.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you for doing this tonight, and Mom, sure you look fantastic.
Thank you.
The opening act was really great. I just ran it.
Okay. All right.
Well, you have a lot of women that are going to be honored tonight. And you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, let's talk about them. They're all from very diverse backgrounds. There's some, there's politicians, as Diane Watson. She's a congresswoman. And I felt so honored that she treated me just as important as she was. And that stuck with me because that's what real leaders are.
And when I had her on the show here just a little while ago, excuse me, her presence is palpable, and how present she is, and how she really talked about service and how much she cares. And her life is really a life of service, a legacy of service. And quite frankly, Sharon, that's how I see you. I see you in service to so many people, and so many being profited and upshifting their own thinking and what's possible for them because you put events like this on.
Well, I think that is a very true statement about me being a part of service. My father was really about service to others. And my father was a very well-known, he was a crane operator, but one of the things that he did is he actually built the biggest ice castles in the world for the St. Paul Winter Carnival. I mean, this went on to be world-renowned ice castles that he built, like 5-story ice castles with slides and lights and the whole 9 yards. I mean, people around the world were talking about the ice castles my dad built because he's a crane operator. They made these incredible things. And I used to go with my father as a young girl, and I used to fill up the holes where the ice chips didn't, or the big ice blocks didn't make. So it'd be one solid ice, and then a shaver would come around and shave them so that it would look like a home. And it was a very interesting time. My father taught me the importance of community, the importance of kindness, the importance to service to others, and the service to God himself. And that's the foundations, I grew up on those things. So, even though both my parents have gone to be with the Lord, I have, continued what was instilled in me as a young kid.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of women that are watching this right now. They're wondering, what's my next step? Sharon's very accomplished and she's done a lot. How can I do some of these things? What's right for me? A lot of people are lost in the world right now, Sharon. And they're looking for their next step. You've got a lot of words of wisdom and inspiration. What would you say to somebody?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to love yourself enough to, even though you're a mother, a wife, a daughter, granddaughter, you have to put yourself first. You can't help others unless you're helping yourself. So you need to get, at least be in love with yourself. Love yourself so that you do the things that are necessary for you to help others. And that means maybe getting some additional educations, getting involved with groups that are doing different things, making sure that you're doing certain things in life that is important to the service of others. I think it's important, and I think that kindness and giving. The thing is that there's a universal law about giving. The more that you give, the more that comes back to you. I can't even tell you, as a young girl growing up, that I would imagine to have done all of this in my life. It's beyond what I ever imagined for myself, and it really came from the universe, bringing me back to the right people, getting me to the right, times and places. Who could say that they know, the family, the Gordy family, and not from just Motown Records, but as kind, loving people doing a lot of work in their communities as well. That's how it happened. We're all here to serve.
It's so interesting because I have interviewed a lot of people now during the event, and the theme is service. Everybody that's been here, and we've gotten on that piece where they're changing themselves and they're changing their life by being of service to other people. And it's like you can't outgive God. So why go out and give as much as you can, and it just comes back. It's just amazing. It's magical. It's actually how you and I got started. I think you didn't pay me the first time. I don't think.
No.
I think I just came and I was a service to you.
Yeah, you came.
Let me help you out. Let me help you.
And you're like, I'm not coming back until you pay me again.
Yeah, well, I thought about it. Well, after I worked very hard that day. No, I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. That was a joke.
I know, but you know what? It's how I've grown my life. It's how Sharon's grown her life. It's so many of us is being of service. Just give it.
Yeah. And so now, I'm part of his wife that work in San Diego. Even though I didn't have a lot of time when I joined because I was working on this event. But now that this event is over, I'm able to go on a regular basis to be part of. And at some point in time, when I'm feeling strong enough, I'll get up and speak because I used to do a lot of public speaking.
And we would love to have you speak. Judy, let me mention her event real quick since we're on the subject. My wife has an event in the San Diego area. It's called womenswisdom.net. You can check it out. Women Empowering Women in Friendship and Business. Sharon is a member. There's a whole group. There's a whole table.
There's a whole table.
Yeah.
Then some.
And then some.
We gave the table and then it multiplied. So there's more people.
So it's a great organization. And during COVID, she had a lot of online stuff. But now it's offline now. Back
in person.
Yeah. So we look forward to having you come back and speak. Yes. All right. Final thoughts here. What do you want to leave our audience with here?
Well, I think that the 2025 is going to be a phenomenal year. You can feel that in your bones. You can see it. You can see the excitement of others. And I want everyone to stay focused. Stay focused on doing the best. Get away from negative people. What you think about, you talk about. And what you talk about, you bring about. So if you want to, excel your life, if you want to make a change in your life, if you want something different, start talking, start thinking, start talking, and think, talk, and then it'll come about.
I love that. I love it, and I love the fact that it's like we can all feel that negative energy. So if you're in it, Move away from it. All right.
Move away from it. All right. It was great to see you again. And we got to get going off to the red carpet.
We gotta go.
We're starting in like 5 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming.